How to confront and conquer your fears. If you find yourself often thinking about how your life is bad and complaining about it, you will always feel miserable. It's important to understand that no matter how big your problem is, it is usually fear-based thoughts that allow it to become uncontrollable. Here are the famous quotes that will help you confront and conquer your fears. On fear and cowardice. Napoleon Hill. Fears are nothing more than a state of mind. Mahatma Gandhi. Fear has its use, but cowardice has none. William Shakespeare. Cowards die many times before their deaths, the valiant never taste of death but once. Ralph Waldo Emerson. He who is not every day conquering some fear has not learned the secret of life. Helen Keller. Avoiding danger is no safer in the long run than outright exposure. The fearful are caught as often as the bold. Gandhi. The enemy is fear. We think it is hate, but it is fear. Aristotle. Fear is pain arising from the anticipation of evil. Usman B. Asif. Fear is a darkroom where negatives develop. Zig Ziglar. Fear has two meanings: forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. Marcus Aurelius. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. On the importance of defeating your fear. Betty Bender. Anything I've ever done that ultimately was worthwhile initially scared me to death. Joseph Campbell. The cave you fear to enter holds the treasure you seek. Douglas Horton. Action cures fear, inaction creates terror. Babe Ruth. Never let the fear of striking out get in your way. Jack Canfield. Everything you want is on the other side of fear. Sarah Parrish. Living with fear stops us taking risks, and if you don't go out on the branch, you're never going to get the best fruit. James F. Burns. Too many people are thinking of security instead of opportunity. They seem to be more afraid of life than death. Rudyard Kipling. Of all the liars in the world, sometimes the worst are our own fears. Judy Blume. Each of us must confront our own fears, must come face to face with them. How we handle our fears will determine where we go with the rest of our lives. To experience adventure or to be limited by the fear of it. Anais Nin. Life shrinks or expands in proportion to one's courage. Louis E. Boone. Don't fear failure so much that you refuse to try new things. The saddest summary of a life contains 3 descriptions: could have, might have, and should have. Shirley MacLaine. Fear makes strangers of people who would be friends. Les Brown. If you're not willing to risk, you cannot grow. If you cannot grow, you cannot be your best. If you cannot be your best, you cannot be happy. If you cannot be happy, what else is there? On how to defeat your fear. William Congreve. Fear comes from uncertainty. When we are absolutely certain, whether of our worth or worthlessness, we are almost impervious to fear. Marie Curie. Nothing in life is to be feared, it is only to be understood. Now is the time to understand more, so that we may fear less. Herman Melville. Ignorance is the parent of fear. Eleanor Roosevelt. You gain strength, courage and confidence by every experience in which you really stop to look fear in the face. You are able to say to yourself, I have lived through this horror. I can take the next thing that comes along. You must do the thing you think you cannot do. Henry Ford. One of the greatest discoveries a man makes, one of his great surprises, is to find he can do what he was afraid he couldn't do. Dale Carnegie. Do the thing you fear to do and keep on doing it, that is the quickest and surest way ever yet discovered to conquer fear. Marcus Aurelius. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment. Steve Jobs. Remembering that I'll be dead soon is the most important tool I've ever encountered to help me make the big choices in life. Because almost everything, all external expectations, all pride, all fear of embarrassment or failure, these things just fall away in the face of death, leaving only what is truly important. On courage and bravery. Bear Grylls. Being brave isn't the absence of fear. Being brave is having that fear but finding a way through it. Nelson Mandela. I learned that courage was not the absence of fear, but the triumph over it. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Confucius. If you look into your own heart, and you find nothing wrong there, what is there to worry about? What is there to fear? Louisa May Alcott. I'm not afraid of storms, for I'm learning how to sail my ship. Joyce Meyer. The eagle has no fear of adversity. We need to be like the eagle and have a fearless spirit of a conqueror. Marilyn Monroe. We should all start to live before we get too old. Fear is stupid. So are regrets. Franklin D. Roosevelt. The only thing we have to fear is fear itself.